Good morning, and what is going on, guys? Today is September 22nd, 2025. The time is 9 o'clock in the morning, approximately 30 minutes from New York Open. And I'm going to run you guys through what I do at the beginning of each one of my trading weeks. So I typically start off looking at this bad boy. And if you don't know what this is forexfactory.com. I would recommend that you bookmark it, save it somewhere. I have it here labeled as market news. And generally what I will do is I'll scroll through the week and see what kind of news we have on what days, and I'll make it as a note on my tab up here in the top right. So, Monday, no news. Tuesday, all kinds of news for the euro and the pound overnight. That's pretty cool. 9:45 we have PMI. PMI. And then it looked like we also had a 10 o'clock. 10A RMI, we'll call it. And then I'll say orange, so I know it's an orange folder. Go ahead and get rid of Wednesday and Thursday. Wednesday, it looks like we have new home sales at 10 a.m. 10A, new home sales. And typically for me, I don't really care that much about an orange folder. It's just medium impact. It is what it is. If I'm already in a position, I'll likely hold through it. 8:30 A. We have unemployment and GDP. And I believe Friday there is no news. Oh, 8:30. Kind of an interesting news week. I don't think we'll end up doing anything fancy, but suppose you never know. I believe there was Powell speaking somewhere in here as well. Powell at 12:35 on Tuesday. Kind of one of the heavier news weeks I've seen in a long time. Which, generally speaking, I would argue is a pretty good thing because, well, let's talk about the VIX. VIX is finding some life. I mean, we're up into the 16s now, which is okay, but it's not really where we want it. I would like to see 20 plus VIX all the time, but that never happens. Then you get these small spikes in volatility for a limited amount of time, and then you're right back to where you were. Kind of over and over and over again. And typically, this is leading up to some kind of news event a lot of the time, but you can see we put in this low at 12, just below 13 over here a while back. I remember that December. That's kind of what we've been trading in this year. Not super fun. Um, but we battle on. So you can see here, Dixie swept our monthly external. That is what this is. Or sell side liquidity, whichever you prefer. And then this is what we would call a swing failure pattern, or a turtle soup, or you can kind of call it whatever you want. Swing, as long as the principle remains the same. It's basically just a sweep of liquidity and then a close inside of the range, right? What that's showing you is bears tried to push price lower. They pushed it lower. They swept the level that they were looking for, and they didn't have the continued selling pressure to keep pushing us through, right? Bulls took back over and pushed price back up into the range. And what that would show you is there's likely more buying pressure than there is selling pressure. We're more likely to probably move up at this point in the Dixie. Short, short term, long potentially. And then NQ is just long in general, right? Down here on the day, you can see we opened up and began to put in a bullish day, but we've been doing the opposite so far. It looks to me like we might be reaching for this inverse fair value gap, this inverse fair value gap, as well as this main fair value gap. And then if we flip over to the euro, you're going to see the daily is soon to be putting in a bullish engulfing. We did not respect this daily fair value gap. We did close beneath it, making this a daily inverse fair value gap. We did also close beneath this daily fair value gap as well, making this also a daily inverse fair value gap. And we also have a daily bearish fair value gap as well. So this will be a pretty interesting area to see how we react. A couple things could happen. So remember, we were looking at this weekly candle as a swing failure pattern, right? But over here on the monthly, this still has 8 days and 10 hours to close, right? So the weekly is kind of painting you a picture like it could possibly end up wanting to move up. But you have to understand that the weekly is inside of the month, and the month still has 8 days and 10 hours left. It is very, very, very possible that we end up not only putting in a new low, or we don't even have to put in a new low, right? We could just close this bearish. And then next week is very obviously going to be another one of those I'm looking to get short on the dollar and I'm looking to get long on the euro kind of months. Um, so we'll see. I would say this candle in general is in a tough spot. I think it's going to be in a tough spot probably for the rest of this week. And it could be difficult to get a read. Now, that being said, we have some decent news tomorrow on Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday and Friday and so on and so forth, right? So if we do end up closing below this daily bullish fair value gap and we create an inverse fair value gap, that would be my okay. I believe this week has already swept the previous week's high. Then we've displaced on the daily chart and we've created a daily inverse fair value gap. And you put that in tandem with the monthly chart is just generally bearish. And you would expect to see this have a decent close, right? So if you put all that together, my signal for entry at this point is waiting on this daily fair value gap to inverse. Or I'm waiting for us to retest this daily fair value gap and then give me some kind of reversal out of it on the 8 hour, on the 4 hour, and then maybe we can find long up to this external here, maybe this external, maybe one of these. I don't know how high we could go. We could go all the way up here to the hundreds, right? But it's important to note that this monthly fair value gap I've had on my chart for a long time. And I really do think that there's a pretty decent chance that this monthly might be due for a retrace. It might not, but it very well could be. And so that's just something that I want to remain conscious of as well. We're also inside of this 3-month candle here. You can see that It has 8 days and 10 hours left on the quarterly chart as well. So this is just kind of a really weird time to trade right now, right? I would expect for this candle to close bearish, but you never really know. I would actually probably make the argument that this is more of a consolidation candle than it is anything. I mean, we took the previous quarter's low, but we failed to expand out of it. I'd say my target here is these two relative equal lows. This one being the first target, this one being the second, right? And so we'll just kind of have to see, I guess, what happens at those levels. And then flipping over to NQ. NQ is just long. I mean, no further questions really. The month is long. The week will end up being long. The day is long. It might want to test this fair value gap. Your 8 hours putting in a higher low right now and has potential to respect this 8 hour fair value gap. Your 4 hour is also putting in a higher low. Your 1 hour just printed a bearish or a bullish engulfing as well. We're not in bullish market structure, but we did print a bullish engulfing candle. And we did retest this fair value gap and we retested this breaker, and that was a market structure shift. You kind of have the whole 9 yards going for a long here. You've got Asia high and London highs both intact still. So realistically, this could probably be good enough for a go like all the way down to here. And then you could kind of let it work for, just a 2-to-1, right? And I'm not really interested in this trade. Today. I'm not really interested in any trades today. I'm honestly not really interested in any trades for potentially a while. Now, I imagine I'll end up getting into some, but just remember that those are the ones that I typically take with much smaller size. Excuse me. You're watching for a sweep of liquidity here off of open or in the next few minutes in general, really. Setting up my copier for the week. Loud thunder, heavy rain. Tonight we enjoy. I'm having trouble getting logged into my funded futures right now. Not sure what the problem there is. Never really had that problem either, but there we go. That'll work. Lovely. All right. I'll be watching for a sweep of this liquidity off of open. It's a 5 minute bullish engulfing there, but I've watched plenty of those fail in my day. So it'll be a really interesting turtle soup for me here, potentially. 4 hours kind of given a decent close. I mean, we didn't really retest any. We didn't really retest any 4 hour bullish internals, otherwise known as 4 hour fair value gaps, right? There's some doofus on Twitter that keeps calling uh long wicked candles like this enigma fair value gaps. It melts my brain to even try to comprehend what that doofus is trying to do. Just another one of those. I'm going to reword a new term to make it sound like it's something new so that I can market my course because I don't make any money from trading. Kind of what that guy has going on, but hey, good for him, I guess. Enigma fair value gaps. You got this 15-minute bearish fair value gap. We're looking to inverse here in 7 minutes. Loud thunder, heavy rain, thin line between joy and this would kind of be a crazy trade. Looks like we might just end up inversing that 15-minute gap there. You had this sweep of liquidity. So I would expect this low to hold this high resistance liquidity. So in theory, you could kind of, if we did sweep it, you could get some crazy small risk on the table. You also have an order block here, the last down close candle before an impulsive move up. So you'd sweep sell stops, respect this order block, and not retest the high resistance liquidity. Kind of the idea there. Now, this here will tell us, is it going to be an early day for me or is it not? Stay tuned. Beautiful so far. But I don't trade in Q pre-market, so this would be breaking my rules. And I'm not a fan of doing such these days. I would rather sit here bored. And it would have been a great trade. Take it up to Asia highs. You could take it up to previous week's high, which actually kind of makes me nervous, really. Um, I don't really think you love to see a previous week high or low taken out on Monday. I typically prefer to see a more of a Monday consolidation profile. Um, I would prefer to see like building out a my ideal weekly profile. Monday, consolidation, no trades. Tuesday, I'd like to see manipulation, no trades. Wednesday, begin distribution. Thursday, continue distribution. Or you could say continued slash displacement if that's what you prefer. And then Friday, I would expect to see um, slight continuation, majority consolidation, right? I'm afraid that this could even potentially be the entire move for the day as well. great run off of open, honestly. EU doing a whole lot of nothing over here. All right, I'm gonna grab another coffee. Give me one moment. We're back. Oh man, take a look. Still probably wouldn't even take this trade. Um, if it delivered, we've already made a pretty decent move, right? So what would happen is I would expect us to make this entire big move, give us some form of manipulation back into discount of the range, and then expect us to show and deliver an entire reversal and go create new highs. Now, what we do have are these relative equal highs right here that I think are an interesting level. So we'll see what happens. Good strong close there. Got a bottom wick on that 15. That's nice. Your 5 minute retested a fair value gap. You can expect continuation. What did we deliver out of that fair value gap? Anything special? Looks like an inverse fair value gap here. So you could have waited for a body to close above, which would be this candle. Could have gotten on the inverse. Stop probably there. Target this high. Something like that. But not my trade. Oh man, take a look at my eyes. I'm a lot like you. It's not ideal. You really want to see a fair value gap made there. The problem is you don't have a low here, right? which means you're gonna go and take out that low. Gonna sweep that candle, I promise. I still think we go take out the low. We're gonna sweep that low, man. I'm telling you. We almost never leave behind those little guys. You could even probably take a trade off of it. Put your stop on this 5 minute low. I'm a lot like you. Well, pretty cool 4-hour candle there. You ain't never gonna be the same. Do 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 do. Mm-hmm. This was an interesting one. Oh man, take a look at mine. I'm a lot like you. I'm just not gonna sit in. Hey, there you go. Just about like we expected. Now, I believe it's very reasonable to assume or think we're likely not reaching for this weekly external, but we could. I don't know. Be interesting to see a retrace back to equilibrium, but I don't think we get that. Sweep this low, potentially turtle soup inside a discount of the range that we've just made. Ah, Oh man, take a look in my eyes. I'm a lot like you. Nothing. Nothing. Yeah. This is gonna probably end up being a pretty quick day here. Snooze fest. Ah. Oh man, take a look in my eyes. I'm a lot like you. Holy boring. That's a quick 4 hour taking the high. That's a quick 1 hour taking the high. I reckon we will probably take this external, and then what happens from there, I don't know. I think it's reasonable to assume you could likely expect well, you're going to get one of three things. You're going to get expansion and furthered continuation and displacement, or option 2 is you're going to get consolidation, or option 3 is you're going to get a retracement. Whether or not that retracement turns into a full reversal, I don't know. But those are your three options: expansion, consolidation, retracement. There's a sweep of the high. Now I think it'll be interesting to watch what happens at this point, right? What's cool about this though is if you just kind of zoom out and you take your little trend line thingy and you just go low to high or high to low, it's actually kind of fun to see. If you just now take this, put it over here, and you can see, it's not your perfect, right? But it's pretty enough for you to see that this is just trending up. And if you just held along for long enough, probably do well. Then you could just really take any kind of trade you want. You know what I mean? Like this inverse fair value gap sticks out to me up to this high, right? Get in somewhere here, probably 20-point stop, roughly 20 to 40, 2 to 1, boom, or 1 to 2, I guess. There you go, right? Easy money. This last one is a little wonky, so it's on me, but you get the idea. And this isn't very clean movement on the 1 minute either. Don't get it twisted, right? This is actually pretty ugly movement in my eyes. Um, just nothing special going on. No real displacement, no real break of structures, no real fair value gaps. I mean, the last time we made a fair value gap was down here, and we might have retested it by like a tick, but I don't think we did. You got one up here, but it's already been disrespected, so or closed through, I guess, is probably the correct way to word that. Then you have ES that's still kind of working its way towards the high. So you can see that's a pretty large SMT in my eyes. Have a look over here at YM. And it looks to me like YM has taken these equal highs. Yep. So 2 out of the 3 pairs have already taken the highs. Meanwhile, ES is the one that hasn't, kind of lagging behind. It's swept both your London high, it swept your Asia high, but it hasn't swept Friday's high, which is previous weekly's high, right? So it'll be interesting to see what ES decides to do. Be interesting to see EU take this hourly low in the first 15 minutes. What you could see is we've wiped some liquidity, and we could just wipe this liquidity once more, then deliver an inverse fair value gap here that I still probably won't take, but it's there. Manage your risk down to like whatever this stop will be. I would do it on M6 though, so let me redo that. It would look something like this. And your stop loss will just go somewhere, wherever we end up putting this swing, right? Or maybe we make another fair value gap even lower. Maybe this is just a retracement of the whole range, right? Maybe I should be drawing a fib from bottom to top, right? Because we had these equal highs, swept them once more, displaced market structure shift, right? Maybe even see it on the 15-minute over here. Boom, 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 right? So now you've got your market structure shift. Got a fair value gap. We're printing a 15-minute bearish engulfing. We're going to end up printing a breaker here. Maybe even print another fair value gap, right? It's just not going to end up materializing. And nothing fun is going to happen. It's a newsless Monday. It just kind of sucks. EU continuing to drop. Nothing fancy. Still think that it's early in this hourly candle. 4 hours just rolled over. Actually, we've just rolled in a 4 hour internal. So this could set up really nicely for tomorrow. It would be asking a lot for this to kind of roll over and do its whole thing today, you know? Well, guys, nothing interesting going on, honestly. It's been pretty boring. I'm not expecting anything. Maybe ES will continue and take out these highs and there won't be an SMT. Maybe EU will continue to set up for us for tomorrow and for the rest of the week, right? But I'm not going to be taking any trades today. I didn't expect that I would coming in and I haven't followed the game plan. Absolutely beautiful. I feel great, feel phenomenal. It's a great Monday. It's rainy outside. I enjoy the rain. Every once in a while, it's nice to have one of those days. I'm going to close up shop here and probably go play some NBA 2K26 and watch how this folds out, how it unwinds, the way that we potentially respect this 4 hour fair value gap. Maybe the way that we consolidate inside of it. Maybe we go find discount today and then get our consolidation right. Maybe NQ continues to displace. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe we leave a 4 hour fair value gap here. Maybe we don't. I'm not sure. But I know one thing is true. I came in today not searching for execution opportunity. I came into today willing to sit on my hands, willing to wait for the rest of this week, right? Look at the rest of this week's news calendar and you tell me. What a great day I enjoyed today. I had a good time. Coffee was nice and beautiful. And what a great morning, man. I'm thankful I get to sit in this chair and do this most mornings. To whoever's out there right now on September 22nd at 10:19 in the morning, and to whoever may see this in the future, I appreciate you for tuning in. I hope whatever day and time it is for you, it's a great day, it's a great week, it's a great month. And we'll see you next time here on the the SquireTrades YouTube channel. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.